Hey dividend investors, welcome back to the channel. 11 Cocoa full basket. We only need $1 million $1 bill to make $1 million, so let's start collecting $1 in dividends today. Maybe 10 years from now we will have $1 million in dividends, but let's see. Today we want to review our 2023 quarter 4 dividend that we have received and the total amount of dividend that we have actually received for the year. So let's look at what we have today. As usual, I have my little disclaimer. This journal represents my personal financial views and should not be taken as financial advice or recommendation. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not qualified to give financial advice, so before you invest, please consult a financial advisor. Okay, so it is not as exciting today because we have not added any new companies to our portfolio. We still have Barita, Carreras, a small amount of Grace Kennedy, MP Cell, Clean Caribbean Energy, Cygnus Credit Invest, TransJamaica. We still have our PBS 9.25 US $ preference shares. We still have Dollar Financial Services, Elite Diagnostic Limited, Jamaica Stock Exchange, Medical Disposables and Supplies, and we still have Mailpack. Alright, so let's talk a bit about what we have done with the portfolio for this quarter. Not very exciting because we have not sold any of our stocks. As I said before, that we would have liked to get rid of a bunch of the smaller positions that we have. For some of them we are in a negative position, and so we don't want to realize our losses just yet, and so we have some time. So I'm thinking that we could just hold them for a bit until we see some improvement in the stock prices. Then maybe we can make some changes there, but most of those positions are very small, and so it doesn't affect our portfolio that much. But for sure there are other stocks that we could have put our money in, but for now we'll just hold on to those. So we have not sold any, but I have bought 103,000 shares of TransJamaica, spending $273,000. You would know by now that I do have a large position in TransJamaica. My average price would have been like $1.42, just around about IPO price there, because initially I bought the IPO and then I sold it. It didn't look as promising, and so I sold it, but then the stock went down to about $1.17, $1.20, and so I started to purchase repurchase the stock at that time, and getting a better understanding of the dividend policy and what we could look forward to. And so I bought into that position, anticipating for sure that the stock would appreciate, and it did appreciate. We will talk about that a little more. And we've also gotten some dividends from TransJamaica. So for this quarter we have bought 103,000 more shares of TransJamaica. It has cost us quite a bit, $273,000. I think that for this set of shares that I've bought, we may be averaging around about $2.63 thereabout, which I do think is pricey. But when you look at the potential for TransJamaica, I do not think that at this point, I think that it was a good buy, because for that 103,000 shares that I've bought, I think that as of today I'm up about 11-12% on that, so that's not bad. But we will look at the overall position of TransJamaica that we have as we go a little further down. Okay, so let's continue to talk a bit. My one stock portfolio. If I had the opportunity to start all over, and just have one stock in my portfolio, what would it be? For sure, it would be TransJamaica. I don't know if there's anyone out there right now who would disagree with me. But if you would disagree with me, let me know in the comment sections and tell me why and what stock would you choose. I'm choosing TransJamaica as my one stock today because of a number of reasons. First of all, I do expect some more price appreciation from TransJamaica. Looking at the market today, it traded at a high of $2.97. I think it closed at $2.96. And so the price of the stock has been trending up in recent times. I would also choose TransJamaica as my one stock in my portfolio because of the dividend yield that it is giving now and expecting to give in the future. I think currently the dividend yield would be based on last year's dividend payment and based on the current price today. Dividend yield would be about 6.1%, and that is not bad. I think that 6.1% would be, for me, the base yield that I would want to get from TransJamaica if I was buying into TransJamaica now. And I am thinking that many other investors would probably be thinking the same, that if they can get the stock at a price where it is yielding 6%, then that would be a good place to buy. I'm not seeing where I would want to buy this stock for at a price that is going to yield me less than 6%. I don't mean current yield though. I mean the yield based on where we expect the dividends to go, based on the payout that we expect going forward. So I'm expecting to get a dividend payout of about 20 cents in 2024, and based on the last earning calls on I think it was Learn, Grow, Invest, the managing director did point out that they are desirous of making changes to the dividend policy, where we would get dividends more than once per year, because that is ideal. People want to be, it's very boring when you wait an entire year to get your dividends, even though it is a good payout. It would be more exciting if people were getting quarterly dividends and so on, but I think that he may have indicated, and I stand corrected, may have indicated that it could be 2 payouts this year. So I'm expecting that we'll get one payout in June and another payout at the end of the year. And I'm thinking that we could get 10 cents in June and then a 10 cents at the end of the year. So I'm expecting 20 cents per share at the end of the year. And so if I was buying one stock, for sure it would have to be TransJamaica, because if I buy it, even if I buy it today at $2.97, I am seeing greater price appreciation for the stock going forward. And the strategy that I would use for this is that I would put my money, my investment, into this stock, and then close to when the dividend, or close to when the dividend is to be paid, then I would sell some of my shares, because that's when the price is at the highest level and you can get some good appreciation from it at that time. And one of the things with that is that sometimes you do see a substantial increase in terms of price appreciation at that time. And that is well, I would say that is my dilemma. The value is there, and if my stock appreciates 100%, which the first set of TransJamaica stocks that I bought has appreciated over 100%. Do I just go in and take that 100% appreciation that I've gotten, or do I hold it and collect the dividends? You know, it is quite a dilemma, because when you look at it and seeing that you could almost walk away with this much money today if you sell the stock, you know, but then you look at it and you'll be like, okay, 10 years from now it could be worth way more than this, and I will be collecting the yearly or quarterly dividends from this stock. But for sure it is tempting to sell. It is tempting to sell, and so that is quite a dilemma that I have with this portfolio, dividend portfolio. You have to be convicted, you know, that you're a dividend investor. But sometimes it's good to take some profit. So for me, if I was to have one stock today in my portfolio, it would be TransJamaica. And so what I would do, I would purchase as much of the shares as possible, and then very close to when dividend is to be paid, I would take advantage of that price appreciation. Maybe I would sell a percentage of my portfolio, collect my quick cash, and also collect some dividends. For sure, I would want to watch to see where the price will fall to after the dividend is paid out, and then maybe there would be an opportunity there to repurchase some shares at a lower price, so you could still walk away with some cash in hand and still have some a good portion of your shares remaining in order to collect some dividends also. So that is the strategy I would use. I would purchase as many as I can, and then I would sell a percentage of it. In reality, it may not be as easy, you know, because in reality, especially for this TransJamaica, personally, I do not think that TransJamaica will be as liquid 2 years from now. That is after 2025, because after 2025, according to the dividend policy, I think they said something about, yes, I think I find it here. The company is projecting dividend yields ranging from an average of 5.3 to 8.7 in 2020 to 2025, and an average of 24.5 to 35.8 thereafter. So imagine you have TransJamaica, and well, for me, having TransJamaica from the IPO price and being able to collect 35% from my TransJamaica shares. I'm not going to be selling TransJamaica shares if I'm getting 35% or even 30%, you know. So you run the risk of not being able to purchase the stock again. I think for TransJamaica 2 years from now, the stock will not be as liquid. If there will be any shares on the market, almost like a JPS preference shares, when no one was selling that because it was a good buy. Unfortunately, I didn't have JPS preference shares. Maybe they purchased it long before I started investing, or even have the money to start investing. And so, but that's an example of what can happen if you do have a good dividend stock. and so you run the risk of not being able to purchase back TransJamaica. So I do think that if I was holding TransJamaica long term, maybe I would try to get some price appreciation before 2025, because after 2025 I do not think, if all things remain equal with the company is growing and doing well, especially if the company gets to operate the other legs of the highway. There's also the Montego Bay bypass, that's a possibility. So if the company takes on more of those projects, then you could be priced out of it for sure. And so that is why maybe I would, or maybe I wouldn't take the risk of selling it. But I'm just saying that is one way in which you could get some price appreciation and still keep some shares for collecting dividends at a later date. So those are some of the reasons why I would choose TransJam as my one stock. And for me personally, I'm expecting a price appreciation of between $3 to $7. The price of TransJam, well, it's almost $3 now, and this is 2024. At the maximum payout of say 30-35%, I do think that the stock could reach in the $7 region for sure. If it is been traded any at all, I wouldn't have the stock. Well, at the price that I've purchased TransJamaica now, my first purchase, not the second purchase, my first set of stocks, that's gonna be my long-term hold for sure. I don't know if I would even sell TransJam again, because for my last year's dividend, I think I received about 13.2 or 13.1% yield from just holding the stock for the first couple of years. And as the dividend payout increases, the dividend yield is going to become more attractive, and so that is why I do think that the stock could reach $7, because at $7, at the maximum payout of about 30% or so, we would still be getting about 42 cents per share, and that to me would be a really good payout. But I would still keep TransJam as my one stock, and if it is not possible to sell shares to get back some of your money, cash in hand, if you want cash in hand, then I would just keep it and use the dividends to purchase something else. I do think that TransJam is the best thing that would have happened to shareholders in this decade for sure. If everything holds true with TransJam and the highway keeps going and dividend payout, and maybe they will take on new projects, this infrastructure stock I think would be my one stock to hold. What do you think? Drop me a comment. Okay, I won't spend a long time on this slide because a lot of information remains the same since we last spoke. I still have Barita, haven't added to that position for more reasons than one. I still have Carreras, I have not added to that position, but Carreras has paid me, and this is significant because Carreras, the payment is almost the same as for TransJam. I received a total of $107,000 last year, 2023, from Carreras, and so that's not bad at all. It's pretty close to the $115,000 that I received from TransJam, and I have not reinvested the dividends into Carreras. I'm thinking maybe I put a little something in there just to say thank you, because I feel like I'm just taking out everything from the start, not putting anything back. But maybe I put something in there in the coming year. I still have Dollar Financial Services. The last time we did not get our dividends for the third quarter. We have now, because they do pay late. I think they pay later than anyone else. We have received $4,760 from that, a total of $14,959, so $15,000 for the year. Could be better, but let's wait and see. We still have GK. My position in GK has remained the same, and I'm going to work on GK this year. With all that dividends that I'm going to get from TransJam, I'm just gonna build out my GK position. I'm just saying that I hope to do that. If TransJam remains cheap, then I may get some more, but for sure the plan is to build out GK this year. I still have Jamaica Stock Exchange. Meal Pack is not doing badly. Medical disposable and supplies, I shouldn't hold that. MPCell, Clean Caribbean Energy, we are still waiting for dividends to be paid from that. We're very patient. We have been very patient with MPCell. I don't know why. Maybe I have a soft spot for it someplace, but I do not really usually have soft spots, you know. I like to collect my money. Cygnus, I have received a total of $41,000 from Cygnus this year. I listened to the annual report, annual general meeting today. And for sure, Jason is a good communicator. He can sell ice to an Eskimo, and so he's still over there selling ice to the Eskimos. But I do think that Cygnus is a position that I will still want to hold. He has good dreams for the future for Cygnus. Having heard him say something like maybe we will try to get Cygnus on the market and there won't be any shares to buy. I don't know what is going to happen to take us to that point, but that's the stock market for you. Anything can happen. We do get some dividends from that. Stock has depreciated somewhat even with the buyback. The share buyback should have pushed the share further closer to the APO price. That has not happened. But I don't know if that would be best for me, because I'm still holding the stock. I don't intend to sell now. I would maybe at 100% increase, and maybe I would consider that, but for now I do think that it's a fair stock to hold. Buyback hasn't done anything to the price. I think the price has fallen somewhat too. Price has gone into 10.11. I've seen it in the high $10 range to $10 to 10.75 to 11 something. That's pretty low. It's pretty low. That's like almost 75% from the APO price. But we still get some dividend from that, and as I said, Jason continues to sell ice over there. And I've not bought more of the ice, but I'm still holding what I had before. I'm still holding on to that ice. Maybe I should get some more at this price. Hopefully it doesn't melt. But Cygnus is still going there, and TransJam, I still do have that position, that first initial position I took in the company. And then I've also added a second line for TransJam. That's just my second purchase. The average price is not as good as the first. So I've separated them. Well, initially I bought the second amount here so that I could sell. Personally, I bought the second amount so for price appreciation, thinking that if I get 100% on this too, then I would just sell and take my profit. But at this stage, I'm not sure if I will do that, and so I always get into that kind of a dilemma. I should set my goal and I should keep them. Talking about goals. But I have not decided yet what I will do with that, because as I said before, well, as I said previously in our Let's Chat segment there, I do think that TransJam will not be readily available 2 years from now. At the end of 2025, I do not think that TransJam is going to be readily available, or if we see anything on the market, or it could be selling for a high price that I will not even look at it. So I don't know yet. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. You know, I'm a wait and see kind of a person. Alright, so we still have all those positions. We have not added to them. The only addition I have made there is just with that additional amount of TransJam. I think for that money, 273,000, we said that we bought 103,000 something more shares of TransJam, or 104,000 something along the lines. And we still have our PBS 9.25. We have collected our 4 quarters of dividends. The first 2 quarters was 231, and then I've added back some of my dividend payment. Well, I've purchased some more shares. I still do have 2 dividend payments in my account that I need to transfer and get some more shares. PBS is selling for a good price now too. It's way down at $11.25, $11.50, and I've seen recently where someone sold for like $10.70 or something. That's what happens when you have no dry powder there to buy. The deals come up and you have nothing. Okay, that's why we need to be prepared and hold a percentage of our portfolio in cash. I'm guilty of not holding any of my portfolio in cash because I just wait on my dividends to purchase other stuff. But this is what we have. We have not made a lot of changes to it. Hopefully going forward we will make some changes. And I've seen a company, I've been looking at a company that I wanted to add to my portfolio. It was at a discount, but then let's see, TransJamaica is always more attractive. I don't know why I need to get out of that. Okay, so there's not much change in my value of my positions. It's just for TransJam there. You notice that it has taken up a bigger piece of the pie. It has moved from about 19%, 19.1% to 23%, which is not well, based on what I'm trying to do. I do like the position that I have in TransJam, because then I can use all that dividends to purchase any of the other stocks that I find desirable at the time or cheap at the time. So I'm building out that position, but let's see what happens this year, because I really want to build up my grace position. Is still small. I can hardly see it through all of that. But for now, that's what we have. PBS 9.25 is still our sole entry into our US dollar portfolio. And as I said before, I have added a small amount. I think it was $750 US to PBS. It's just from the dividends. And I do have in excess of $500 that I need to add to it. But for now, we're holding PBS. I think it's a good buy and a good hold also. We have been accumulating dividends for sure. I have combined my US dollar dividends with my Jamaican dollar dividends. It has totaled $486,372.80 for 6.61% of the portfolio that we have received this year. For next year, for this year 2024, last year, that was for last year 2023. For this year 2024, I'm confident that we will get to the $500,000 mark, because that's just like 14,000 away from 500,000. We should be able to get $14,000 more in dividends this year. So for sure, at the end of 2024, we should be able to collect around about 500,000. I'm thinking that we may be able to exceed that, but let's wait and see. And going forward, we will also be able to calculate our percentage increase year over year. But since last year was the first year that we have put this together, we have nothing for percentage increase. Next year we will certainly have something. I hope that we can at least go up to 7% next year. You know, if I can, well, if I can increase it by a year, by 1 percentage point every year. If next year is 7%, 2025 it could be 8%, 2026 it could be 9%, 10% in 2027, 11% in 2028, and so forth. Then for sure we would be well on our way to retiring. What do you think? Drop me a comment. Okay, dividend investors, remember one cocoa full basket. It only takes $1 million $1 bill to make $1 million. Let's start with $1 and see if we can make $1 million in dividends. Thanks for watching. See you soon.